Wonder Woman, issue 27, legacy number 827. This is Tom King writing with Daniel Sampeere on the art. This was a very satisfying issue, I thought. Which is, we ended the last one with Mouse Man having the reveal that he has got Wonder Woman's daughter, right, Lizzie? And the opening of this issue shows how that happened. You see Candy with the other Amazonian with the mouse girl and the two babies, right? So you got Lizzie and then the other kid, the one that the other Amazon had. And we see the Mouse Man SWAT team, for lack of a better term, like sneaking up on them and coming in and attacking them. And it looks like they shoot the other Amazon in the head.
Yeah.
It's a big moment. So she might be dead. I don't know if that's a definite kill, but it does not look good. I think it's fair to say.
It feels like it, because it feels tragic in the moment. You know what I mean? Like,
it does. And, Mouse Man's like getting all cocky here. This is when it starts to come back into the scene with him and Wonder Woman, where he's like, hey, I've got your friend Candy. I've got, the other baby. I've got this woman. I've got blah, blah. I've got your daughter, which means I have you, Wonder Woman. And the next page is him staring her down and saying, get on your knees. And Wonder Woman just stares at him, does not yield. And then he gets angry. We get a close-up, right? Because the first 4 panels, the 6-panel page, the first 4 are basically identical, other than the speech bubbles. And a little slight difference of like his facial expression.
Yeah, he goes from a smile to like a stern grimace.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he only smiles on one panel. It's only on that panel where he's saying get on your knees. Every other one, he's got the same kind of grimace. And then the 5th and 6th panel are close-ups of their faces where he yells, get on your effing knees, you feeble, I presume bitch, is the last word.
Yeah.
And he slaps her and says, my mice will feast upon your daughter. They will eat her. They will drown her. She'll be crying out for you. He gets super, super vicious about it, slaps her a couple of times, and then demands she get on her knees again. And she just punches him so hard in a full-page spread, uppercuts him right to the chin.
Palm strike, just perfect form, right up there. Oh my God, with a no thing.
I think because the ending of last issue sort of sold it as this big cliffhanger, and it was like, this is not like betraying that in any way, but it sold it in such a way where you were kind of worried, like, oh God, is she going to have to like, play ball a little bit until she can figure out a way to like, flip the tables kind of thing. And it was so satisfying, him trying to demean her, trying to make her feel lesser, only for her to just kick the absolute shit out of him.
Yep.
It's so satisfying.
Yep. This is an absolute drubbing of Mouse Man by Wonder Woman.
Yeah. We cut to the girl, because after they've all been taken, the girl is taken to an interrogation room, and obviously the guard just keeps saying, Mouse Man knows, mice have ears, so on and so on. And later on, like a sort of upper general, and we've established at this point that the upper generals can say some more words than the low ranking people, and he's basically saying, but it's basically just nothing but complimenting Mouse Man. He's like, Mouse Man's the most handsomest man who's ever lived. Mouse Man is perfect. He's amazing. He's like a beautiful lion or something. And like, eventually the girl, who obviously it was a big deal when she finally said help, because she'd been saying nothing but her approved phrases the whole time, she stutters out at the end of this page after staring at this guy, "You're weird," which I thought was really funny.
I love it. It's such, because it goes from, Wonder Woman with the, the palm strike uppercut to like a sense of danger because she's being carried over the shoulder, right? Sitting across from this guy, and just the ultimate tension break with the, you're weird, like it was pitch perfect pacing throughout, and the timing, delivery, everything.
Yeah, really good. And when it goes back to the interrogation scene, I love the effectively when he keeps trying to like, effectively mind wash her and program her back into just saying the approved phrases and to be obedient and whatnot. She basically just chooses to keep saying Wonder Woman over and over again. Like, that's now the phrase she's choosing to say. And it felt, again, very defiant. It felt very much like, it's not quite the same as Wonder Woman kicking the shit out of Mouse Man, but in her own way, it felt like she's having the same defiant moment as Wonder Woman, Like, she's been inspired by her, so she's also standing up to this bully.
Yeah, and then, like, because there's noise coming around of Mouse Man getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
Right? and you're getting the crash, and she goes, noise, Wonder Woman. And then that's where she just starts repeating Wonder Woman, for all of this. And it's like, yeah.
Diana like picks up Mouse Man and basically says, "You're pretty thick, but how thick are these walls?" And then throws him at a wall, and he just sort of smashes against it and crumples to the floor. If anyone who knows wrestling just thinks Shane McMahon going against the King of the Ring glass and it just not breaking, it's basically that. And then she's like, "Oh, we'll have to try again." So she picks him up again, almost like Bane picking up Batman, and then throws him at the wall, and then he goes through, and she's like, "Better." Like, it just, it's so cathartic.
Yeah, it is Shane and Angle, isn't it? I didn't even put that together. But it's the wall didn't break. Here, let's try again.
Yeah, one more time. Why not?
Man. Yeah.
And then she keeps throwing him through more walls, throws him through a wall into his men, punches the crap out of him. That's when we go back to the girl and her defiant yelling of Wonder Woman. And again, Wonder Woman throws them through some more walls until they're outside. She basically keeps saying like, "Nah, this won't do. This place still stinks of you. We have to keep going further," and throws them through another wall. She's basically just throwing them through walls until she gets to the outside. And that's the whole thing. And someone tries to shoot at her. She deflects the bullet. She lassos the gun over and says, "I need to borrow this gun for a minute." And she then tells Mouse Man to get on his knees, which obviously is a callback to him telling her to get on her knees. And when he does get on his knees, she hands him the machine gun, right? And says, "The rest is up to you." And she walks away. Basically, it's basically like a, not quite the same, but it's almost kind of Western when they do like the paces where they're back to back, right? She's basically doing that with him, but he's facing her the entire time. He's holding the gun, and she's walking away back to him. And he looks down at the gun, he's clearly considering his options, and he does fire it at the bottom of the page. And this page is like 5 just very horizontal panels of her walking away.
And the way that the pacing that Sampeere does with her, it almost makes a vertical or a diagonal line, right, from the top to the bottom. Like it's so well, I want to say directed, but it's not directed, right? Because it's drawn. But yeah, it is so well captured here.
Yeah, there's just this perfect pacing to it, and she's like looking over her shoulder in that last panel as you hear the gunshot go off, and then obviously the next page is like one big panel of her deflecting the bullet, and you see the bullet like going back the way it came, and then the rest of the page is it hitting Mouse Man right in the stomach. So it's like he's just like, shot himself, and that's when she comes up to him and says like, "You threatened my child. You threatened Steven's child. Like you like the man I love. You've threatened his child." And I want you to understand that, you're not facing the wrath of the Amazons here. You're not facing the wrath of even the people that you tortured. And she leans in to whisper in his ear, "You're facing the wrath of," and then someone yells her name. It's the mouse girl yells Wonder Woman. But you assume that's what Diana was going to say, is that you've pissed me off, and that's what you're getting right now. So. Because if it was for those other things, she would have kept her composure, right? You don't think she would have been throwing in the little comments. No, it just would have been a fight. You know what I mean? But she has to go and twist the knife and emasculate him as much as possible to let him know, you did this. You awoken, take your punishment. He crossed the line, and she is making sure he understands that he crossed the line. So, but Mouse Girl's like, "Hey, I fell, I run into hole, found you, and him." And so it's very broken up, right? But Diana says, "Oh, you're speaking much better. That's good." And then she looks down at Mouse Man and says, "You've changed, as have I," and drops him. And it's almost like in that moment, like maybe she was going to go further, but seeing the girl made her remember, like, "Oh, I'm Wonder Woman. Like, I'm not a killer. I'm going to, stop this right now," kind of thing.
It reminded her who she was, right? Yeah. She is that little girl. Right. And and again, Sampere's art here is pitch perfect, because the reaction shot of Diana to the girl is like, she has this sheepish smile on her face. Like, "Oh, hi." Like you busted her doing something she's not supposed to, and there's so much that's not on the page, right? With like dialogue wise, that's being told in this layout.
No, I love,
she drops him, and there's that crunch of his head hitting the ground too.
That's the last panel. Yeah. No, I loved the pacing of this issue. I mean, it read very quick, I suppose, but like in a good way, where there was this momentum to everything, where it was almost like a relief in a way. Not that I was worried that the issue was going to be bad or whatever, but, you know, part of me thought, oh, it's going to be an issue where there's lots of negotiations or lots of, like, being trapped and trying to figure out a way to, like, you know, outsmart the bad guys kind of thing. Having her just unleash hell on him because he's done wrong was really satisfying in a way that really worked. You got to enjoy her wrath, as she puts it. But then obviously she sort of, you know, keeps her hero kind of status at the end and sort of remembers her morality when this girl reminds her of it. So I don't know. I think all this was just perfectly paced for me. And there's still consequences to this. Obviously, what's happened to the mother, and obviously we know that the other baby's got a future that's, you know, not going to go very well. So this is kind of the start of that path in a lot of ways. So excited to see how we pick this up next time. But yeah, so we have 2 more issues before there's a 2-issue kind of fill-in arc. So very excited to see how we wrap this stuff up. But it feels like Mouse Man has been mostly defeated here. I'm sure he'll make some last-ditch effort. Like, the people who follow him are going to try something next issue, I have no doubt. But this was very cathartic as far as issues go. And obviously the art by Sampere, like all these big moments, you know, the build up, like, I mean, I think that moment of Mouseman stepping in and saying, "Get on your knees, like, I own you now," having her not respond, and then when he yells at her just like unleashing and breaking his jaw was perfection, pretty much. So, no, great stuff. I have very little to critique, honestly, in this issue.
Yeah. Just at the beginning, Etta's telling a story about how when she first came there and met Etta, Etta took her to her family ranch, and her dad was kind of this cowboy type, and, you know, and we get a kind of their view of Wonder Woman and how she was even inspiring then, right? And, you know, she goes, you know, we all got dressed up in cowboy gear, went riding, you know, and her dad said, you can dress her any way you want, Candy, but that woman is just who she is. And that's how we get to the end of it, right? Is like her being this violent and full of anger and vengeance is not really who Diana is, as we've seen. And it's almost like something with the Sovereign and the death of Steve and all of this, it's almost kicked her into a different gear, right? So no matter, you know, I feel like that story at the beginning is to show kind of how far she's being pushed now, right? With these new threats. And yeah, so it was a real great way to balance out this issue, is to, you know, remind us where she was and now where she is. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Matt, what are you giving Wonder Woman?
I mean, it's a 9.
Yeah, I'm going to go 9.5. I really like this issue. Like, I really like this issue.